From Greater Cedar Rapids over on my left, Jeff Linder, Jeff Johnson. Coming down the stretch here, another high school basketball podcast, and blink and you missed it and you're in mid-February. So, most conference races on the girls' side have been decided. Imagine you're starting to, get the same on the boys. And where are things at with you?
Lindy, Thursday for you, postseason, right? Starting.
Right.
Friday, there's some quote-unquote pigtail games for the boys in 1A. And then Monday gets her going, for all 1A and 2A. You're right. Where the heck did the season go, man? It seems like it's gone really, really quick to me.
It goes faster every year. And, I thought time would slow down once the kids were out of school, but out of the house, but that sure doesn't happen. And, it seems like, it was just yesterday when we were walking out of the powerhouse for what turned out to be the last state volleyball tournament there. So here we are.
Let's go. This is always the best time of the season. So
it is. The days are getting longer. You show up for a regional game. It's 6 o'clock and you still see the sunset, and it's a good time of the year. The snow's starting to melt a little bit. So, yep. But I'm sure we'll get some more.
Yeah. Don't say that. Well, yeah, the girls' tournament's coming up, so it's tradition. So,
yes.
I wanted to ask you a question. I did the doubleheader Friday night with Washington and Kennedy, and the girls' game was both games were really good. The girls' game was really, really good. Came right down to the wire. And Kennedy is without its coach, Andy Courtney, right? Can you tell everybody a little bit about that? And I guess first of all, we need to let him know that we're thinking of him and hope that he gets well soon, right?
Absolutely. He's got a tough road ahead. He had emergency cardiac surgery a week ago today, and he's still down at UIHC. I don't know if he's still in the ICU or not. Not my business, but I know he's got a lot of healing ahead. And certainly thoughts go out to Andy and his family, and for the Cedar Rapids Kennedy girls basketball program.
Yep.
They are in good hands. Maddie Meyer, Vanessa Vega, both very good basketball minds. The Cougars will be fine with the two of them, and they're playing with a purpose. I thought considering everything, they played with a lot of poise and maturity against Washington last Friday. You saw the game. What did you think?
I agree. I thought it was a wonderful game. It's kind of back and forth, and like I said, came right down to the wire. And I thought you couldn't necessarily tell that there was a temporary or interim coach on the sideline, things like that. So something that'll be inspirational, I'm sure, for those girls, right? As we get to the postseason.
Yeah. And in the end was Washington had the best player on the floor. They had Hannah Stolke, and that helps a lot. So, and then Washington came back and won yesterday against Iowa City High, which is a very good win against a top 10 team. And we'll see how that affects things as far as the postseason is concerned, as far as the pairings. Speaking of Wash Kennedy, you had the boys game. We've both been doing this a while. I think I saw the best dunk in person I've ever seen at the end of that game.
Yeah, wasn't that something, Trace?
Oh my gosh!
You were right there on the court, so you probably had more of an appreciation for how high he was in the air.
He was up. I thought the Washington students were going to storm the court after that dunk. They were still behind.
Setting up the scenario for those who didn't see it or weren't there was a missed 3-point shot that kind of went around and out, and Sane was right there, perfect timing for the follow dunk. The young man has some really good athletic skills. I saw him this year, Jeff, another one that that made me stand up, literally. There was a out of bounds play right at their bench towards midcourt, kind of between midcourt and what used to be the timeline, I guess. Their out of bounds play, they set up a lob for him, and he caught it from almost midcourt and dunked it. And I thought that was the best dunk that I'd seen in a long time. And then, the other night was, otherworldly as well. So I talked to him after the game. He's a good kid. He's his dad, Bruce, played D1 ball, and that's his goal. He said he doesn't have any concrete offers right now, but he's hearing a lot from a lot of mid-major Division I schools. So and he's a junior, so he's got another year. And I'm ready for Kennedy Washington 3, to be honest with you, because Kennedy, I think I know they're the best team in town, and Kennedy and Washington are 1-2 in their Substate, and could, if they win their first games, meet in a Substate final for a trip to go to the state tournament. So those came out today on the boys' side. So
go ahead. Let's hear what you know.
That was Substate 4 we're talking about. That's the one with Kennedy's 1, Washington's 2, and then Linmar and North Scott play each other in the first round. And then the winner would play Kennedy, and then Liberty, which is playing very well right now, and Davenport Central would meet in the other first round game, with the winner getting Washington. And then looking here at Substate 4, Iowa City West is your 2 seed to undefeated Pleasant Valley. City High, Davenport West would play first round game, the winner playing Pleasant Valley, and then Burlington and Muscatine are down in the other one. The other one there, and Prairie's the top seed in Substate 6. Bettendorf Dubuque Senior winner would play the Hawks. Davenport North is your 2 seed with Hempstead and Clinton. The winner there playing North. And, tough deal for Prairie, losing Elijah Ward, one of their starting guards, multiple year starting guard. He broke his hand in a game last week, and he's out for the season. And that's tough, but they still, I like their Substate, and I like where they're located, and they've had enough time to will have had enough time to learn how to play without him. So, I like the Hawks on that Substate to get to state for the first time in a long time. And, then kind of looking, scanning here real quick, Class 3A, you got Substate 4, Washington, Iowa is your top seed there. Solon, Center Point, Urbana winner would presumably play Washington. Then DeWitt Central's a 2 seed. Xavier is a 3 seed in that Substate. Substate 5, Marion got the nod as the number 1 over Fort Madison, which was interesting to me because Fort Madison went into last week undefeated and lost 3 times, and that was enough for the coaches to give Marion the nod as the number 1 in Substate 5. Fort Madison is your number 2 seed, in Clear Creek, Amana, your number 3 seed there. So those are the ones, I guess, of note. Actually, no, I missed Decorah, which is playing very, very well. Actually, there's a couple of them here. Dubuque Wahlert in Substate 3 is your number 1 seed. That also consists of West Delaware, Anamosa, Macokota, Western Dubuque, Independence, also in there in Substate 3. And Decorah is your number 1 seed in Substate 2. The other side of it would be probably Clear Lake coming out of there, and Decorah is looking to get to state for the first time since the 70s, playing very, very well. 17-1, I believe. They were supposed to play Fort Madison in kind of an impromptu late scheduled game that and ended at Kirkwood last night, but Fort Madison had some sickness going around the program, and they had to cancel that game. So I was disappointed. Really wanted to see the Vikings play, head leading into the postseason. So And then 1A and 2A, we all found out about that last week. So, and the 1A, 2A, 3A pairings. Did we talk about those last week? We did, didn't we?
We got those. I think we spoke Thursday, and we had them at that point there on Thursday. So yeah, not a whole lot has changed. Still trying to figure out who the best team in the area is, girls wise, whether it's City High or West. My Super 10 this week, I flip flopped again for about the fourth time this season. I put West on top. City High 2 after City High lost to Cedar Rapids Wash. So just kind of going through your pairings again. So if we have a lot of chalk, so Kennedy Prairie, both are 1 seeds. West has a shot there too, you said, so you can have 3 teams in 4A.
Yeah, they play, but it's a tough task to play Pleasant Valley, which hasn't lost a game. So
okay.
I think it's realistic, certainly, to say that we'll have 2 teams in 4A. Could have 3, and then in 3A, 1, 2. I think we could have as many as 4.
Marion's a 1, Decora's a 1. You said Xavier's dangerous. Are they in with Washington? Did you say or no?
Yeah, Washington, Iowa is the number 1 there, and Xavier's is in with them. So I mean that's definitely a possibility there. Although Washington got beat Monday night by a really good 2A Williamsburg team. So that's going back to the 1A, 2A that we talked about last week, that, Williamsburg's got a chance. So it was interesting.
What's Williamsburg's path? Are they in with Mid Prairie or Monticello?
No, they kept them away from each other, and Mid Prairie, I mean, that's a team that is still undefeated. Monticello had a big win last night over Comanche to wrap up, the River Valley Conference Championship. That was, or their division. What is it? The East, right? So, North. Thank you. I get them all mixed up. Sometimes East, North, West, South, whatever. So, Monticello's in there with let's see, MFL Marmac in the same district. Then Williamsburg would be in the opposite district there. So they're in the same substate. So it's fun to think about some of the pairings here. And I know, Jeff, that we've talked a lot about the strength of the Tri-Rivers Conference, both in the boys and girls, but geez, I went out Monday night just kind of on my own to Alburnett there because it was playing New London, which was 18-1. It's been kind of in the top 10 all season. And Alburnett beats New London in overtime. Wonderful game. A lot of dramatics there. And Alburnett's a team that's lost 6 games. So there you go. I come back to how strong the Tri-Rivers is, and it'd be really interesting to see how those teams fare, come out of it. It looks like Northland's really playing well. Northland beat Alburnett again last night by like 25. So Lynx look like they've figured out whatever problems they might have had before Christmas, and look like a very dangerous club. So
between the boys and the girls is that the East is a lot better on the boys' side. Lisbon's pretty good. Easton Valley's always good. Is Marquette still pretty good?
They're I want to say about the 10-8, 12-8 range, somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
You're right around 500. So I guess I could run down here real quick the conference races now that we're at the end. Looks like Cedar Falls is going to win the MVC. Mississippi. Kennedy has a leg up on the Valley Division title. Certainly, Marion has won the Walmack East. Williamsburg has won the Walmack West. Monticello has won the River Valley North. Mid Prairie, the River Valley South. Decorah is your Northeast Iowa Conference champ. Iowa Valley, with the first conference title since 1966, won the SICL East. The South Iowa Cedar West went to Montezuma, defending champ, beat North Mahaska last week to win that. Tri-Rivers East, Lisbon, and Easton Valley shared the championship. Northland, the winner in the Tri-Rivers West, and then MFL Marmac is your Upper Iowa Conference champ. So that's just kind of a quick rundown of the area champs.
All right. As far as the girls are concerned, City High is going to win the MVC Mississippi. They're 11-3, 2 games up on Washington and Linmar. Waterloo West and Iowa City West are both 12-1 to lead the MVC Valley. Both are pretty heavily favored to win out there and probably finish 14-1 there. Marion's going to win the WAMAC East, or has won the WAMAC East. The WAMAC West is a 3-way tie between CPU, CCA, and Benton Community. That became a 3-way tie last night when Clear Creek beat Benton 40-35 over at Van Horn, which I was at. As far as the overall WAMAC, right now CPU is 15-3, Benton's 14-3 with a game to play yet against Solon. So we'll see how that turns out. Cascade wins the River Valley North. Regina wins the River Valley South. Tri-Rivers East. Cal Wheat, first league title ever for them in 5-player basketball. So yeah, they were 3-4 at one point in December. Now they're 17-4. So they win the East. Springville Northwind shared the Tri-Rivers West. Jessup is the NICL East champion. Waverly is 9-0. Decorah is 8-1 in the Northeast Iowa, and they still have to play. I think they play on Saturday. So either Waverly wins that outright or Decorah might get a share. English Valleys wins the SICL East, North Mahaska West, and MFL is the Upper Iowa champion. So there's your express tour of the Eastern Iowa standings.
Jeff, I just got to tell you, I looked out my front window here, and Caitlin Clark just took a shot. I'm not quite sure if it went in. I'm guessing it did, but that seems to be her range. What you saw the other night and what everybody saw the other night was some of the, just incredible. Pull up from half court, basically. Can you describe what you're seeing? It's pretty amazing, and she's becoming a national name, right?
Yeah, and she really did last year. She became a national name last year. Things quieted down earlier this year when she wasn't hitting her shots very well. I think at one point she was 22% from 3-point. Now she's since then she's probably shooting right around 50 from deep. So she's kind of straightened up those numbers a little bit, and she's got the attention of the nation, and certainly has the attention of University of Iowa women's basketball fandom right now. So definitely a very, very dynamic player. She's a different animal from anything I've seen covering the Iowa women or anybody in the Big Ten. She's deserving of all the accolades she's getting right now.
How's she deal with it? How do you think she's dealing with it and will deal with it?
I think well. I think she's dealing with it well. I think the team deals with it pretty well. Coach Bluter, I think well. Every time, Caitlin is never difficult to talk to. She's very well spoken. She knows how to play the media game. She's charming. My guess is she was if I had to put an over under on her ACT in high school, I'd probably put it at about 31. I think she's that smart. Knows the game. I think I can't say it for sure. I think she's a good teammate. I don't think she's selfish. I mean, if she was selfish, she wouldn't lead the nation in assists. She's something I've never seen before. People say, who does she remind you of? And I can't think of, I hope it's not sexist of me to say, I haven't seen a woman play like her. Some people say Sabrina Ionescu, who was at Oregon. A lot of people say, Steph Curry or somebody like that. I throw out Pete Maravich. He's kind of the one that with the way he passed and dribbled and shot, I guess I would say was the game similar to hers.
Pistol Pete.
Yeah.
I remember Pistol Pete. 100%. You got to give. Well, all right, then you got to give Caitlin some sort of nickname similar to Pistol Pete. We'll have to think on that for a little bit. Cannon Caitlin. I love that. There you go. Trademark that sucker.
NIL.
Did you watch Drake and You and I the other night by chance? Men.
No. Actually, I was in Des Moines that night, and out at our daughter had a concert out there on Saturday.
Nice.
So I was kind of watching it on the phone, just kind of the game cast or whatever that was. Must have been a really good game.
They played they played twice, both overtime games. So.
Yeah. So, okay. Who's got the best D1 men's basketball team in the state?
A month ago, that wasn't a question, right?
Right.
No, it is.
Yeah.
You got to throw. I don't know. Iowa State just seems to be imploding.
Well, their schedule's catching up with them, and I think their offensive limitations are catching up with them.
Agreed.
They play hard, but like I said, there's some offensive limitations there, and they're still not a great shooting team. We went out and saw them against Mizzou, which they actually played very well against Mizzou. But when they're not hitting shots, it's they're not going to hold Big 12 teams to 50, 55 points a game. So.
Right. I was just kind of thinking internally about this. And this might just be nonsense, but a team that was so heavily laden with transfers, obviously as Iowa State was. I mean, is there ceiling? Is there room for growth less? Perhaps because of that, than like a team that has a bunch of freshmen, sophomores, juniors, or whatever, or is that just poppycock?
No, I know what you're saying. The thing that is weird though is the team with all these transfers played so well early when they were just getting to know each other.
That's a great point. Yep.
I would think that would be a team that would struggle early to kind of figure things out and then could really mesh. But it's kind of been the other way around with them.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. It was amazing, really, early, because they played some tough early games,
Yeah, they beat Xavier, they beat Memphis. They were really, really good early. I think they beat Oregon State early, if I remember correctly. And, they were 12-0, and they played Baylor tough that first game at Hilton, and thought, hey, that's they got it going, but they're kind of stuck in neutral right now. But I'll tell you, the Big 12 is tough. If West Virginia was in last place in the Big 12, and they're good, Yeah. There just isn't the floor. The floor in the Big 12 is very, very high. How's that sound?
Yeah, for sure. Kind of sounds like Metro Boys basketball this year in a way that we've talked about a lot. But yeah, and then the MVC tournament, we'll see. Wouldn't it be something if Drake and you and I meet in the MVC tournament with a whole lot at stake there? A couple of teams that have obviously gotten better.
Yeah, could play in a 2-3 game in the semis, or a 1-4 if you and I, or if Drake could win it. So or maybe they'll meet in the finals. Who knows?
Yeah, that would be something. That would really be something.
Before we sign off, what do you got going on the rest of the week? Who you got?
We're gonna do a little hockey tonight, and then Friday night we'll Marion and Williamsburg, which would be the two division champs in the WAMAC play each other. Lost a little bit of luster. Marion was upset last night at home by West Delaware. So loses a little bit of luster that way, but still should be a really good basketball game. So we'll do that on Friday, and then we'll reset here and get after it postseason wise starting Monday. So are you going to be out and about Thursday, or you?
No,
or not Thursday?
there isn't a great first round game for 1A on Thursday, so I messed that one out. Friday, still trying to decide. There's 3 or 4 possibilities, MVC possibilities, and where to go to. I haven't really figured it out yet. Saturday, I'm going to go. It's not a super game as far as records, but Mount Vernon and Independence play in a 3A first round game. I'll run out to Mount Vernon. They've had a really nice jump this year. They've I don't know if we talked about it last week. They've gone from being one of the worst offensive teams in 3A to one of the best shooting teams in 3A. Wow. So last year they were 1-20. This year they're 11-9, 11-10 after losing to Solon last night in a close one. So they play Independence, which I think has 5 wins, and I expect Mount Vernon to win, but I think it could be a decent game
and a good story. So there you go.
Yeah. I touched on that in the notebook a little bit last week, but really nice jump this year. Started. I got Maryland, Iowa on Monday. Grant Freeze comes back again, and then we really get going next week with tournaments in all classes. Sorry to interrupt.
No. I was just gonna say real quick, folks, check out Patrick and Connor McCaffrey's latest podcast. I'm not sure if that's been posted yet, but it will be. I know it was recorded last night. Mom is on the podcast, Margaret McCaffrey. They talks about her very fine college career and a lot of other really good stuff. So that's just something to keep an eye on. So
all right. Well, I think that's going to do it for today. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching. Thanks for reading. And see you next week.